First round pick Mason Graham asked about his growth throughout training camp and where he's seen his biggest improvement.
Yeah, I feel like I can just show my progression, since I've got here until now. It's always a progress, especially coming into this defense, new style, and just kind of picking up the technique still. But it's getting better week by week. Probably just like I had to change my whole stance, and then I'd say more like get off too. I used to not really get off the ball as fast because it was a different defense. I was more of reading, so it wasn't like launching out the ball. But I'd say probably my get off and stance and stuff.
Fred, I can't wait to see Myles Garrett play next to him in a game because I think the two of them, and then you throw Malik Collins in there. I think this defensive line is going to create some problems, no matter who they play.
Well, that's what they're counting on, and I like what I've seen of Graham. I like what I've seen of Schlesinger. I've said it. If those two guys can hit the ground running and play up to what they're built, there's going to be some learning curve, obviously, as rookies. But I don't see why this defense cannot get back into being a top 10 defense. A lot of them, I asked Myles Garrett that yesterday, and he said that last year it was just some leaks, some lapses, and that was some of the reasons why they fell off. And I hearken back to those first 7 games. They played well enough in 5 of those 7 to win, but the offense, couldn't score more than 16 points, and that's why you were 1-6. So you add these two rookies. Sure, you lost a couple key parts as well in Emerson and Hicks to retirement and JOK to injury, but I do think that the ingredients are there with that defensive line to really be strong. I mean, they traded away who I thought was an up and coming young guy they drafted last year in Jawan Briggs. That tells me that they feel very good about where Graham's at, Collins at, Shelby Harris, and then that they think Michael Hall's soon to be returning. So I do think that if they can get that inside play, it would only help Garrett. You saw the Panthers double teaming Graham in the first game of the preseason. Obviously, Garrett wasn't playing. So that tells you already what they were thinking of him. So you can't double team them all. And they double team Garrett. I think Graham has a chance, to have a big year as well. So all the way around, I think it bodes well. I'm kind of anxious. I think that's the path for the Browns to get off to a good start to be successful is playing good defense.